Good evening. Welcome back after the 4th of July holiday weekend. I'm Tammy Hancock reporting. New this hour, Oak Grove police are investigating the death of a 3-year-old girl. Police spokesman Lieutenant Adam Vanderkook reported tonight that Oak Grove police received a medical call Saturday morning around 10:45 for a 3-year-old girl that was unconscious and barely breathing at 440 Pembroke Oak Grove Road. Emergency personnel transported the little girl to Blanchfield Army Community Hospital on Fort Campbell, and then she was airlifted to Vanderbilt University Hospital in Nashville, where she died the following morning around 10:35. Oak Grove police are investigating the girl's death and are awaiting autopsy results from the state medical examiner's office. At this time, police are withholding all names until all notifications have been made. Also new this hour, the Hopkinsville City Council tonight approved a resolution declaring official intent to reimburse temporary advances for capital expenditures for the city's proposed downtown project.
The resolution which was approved on the bonding for the downtown construction project is a measure that we undertake on a normal basis when we're anticipating a bond issue to pay for a major project, so that funding that we may spend on the project before the bonds are sold can be reimbursed out of the bond proceeds. So it's just a way to make sure that all of the cost of this construction project we will be able to finance through the municipal bond issue.
In other action, the council authorized the mayor to apply for a justice grant to help fund the city's struggling juvenile drug court program since state funding has been cut. The deadline to apply for the 2011-12 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant is July 15th, and it's worth over $21,000. In other business, the council approved an agreement between the city and the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority to provide loan funds for wastewater improvements.
Hopkinsville Water Environment Authority has received loan funds from the Kentucky Infrastructure Authority to do a large amount of sewer improvement work and sewer expansion work in Hopkinsville. It'll go a long way toward curing some of the problems that we've had with old sewer lines that need to be replaced because stormwater filters into them. So that's the purpose of this project. It's been previously approved by the council, and this was just a resolution tonight to allow us to complete the paperwork.
Meanwhile, council members voted 10-2 to adopt the city's inner-city res program's $500,000 budget, with Councilwoman Marby Slagle and Councilman Jimmy Dossett voting no. Council members Fred Atkins and Ann Cherry were absent from tonight's meeting. In other news, a Murray State University student was killed in a 2-vehicle wreck over the holiday weekend. State police say 42-year-old Jonathan Harrell of Knoxville was traveling east on the Kentucky 94 connector around 1:30 Monday morning when he failed to stop at the Kentucky 80 East intersection and crashed into the driver's side of a vehicle driven by 19-year-old Muhammad Ayami of Murray. According to state police, Ayami's passenger, 19-year-old Mahid Baharath of Murray, was pronounced dead at the scene by the Callaway County coroner. State police say Harrell was transported to Vanderbilt Medical Center in Nashville for treatment. State police at Post 1 in Mayfield are still investigating the cause of this crash. Meanwhile, Kentucky State Police in Madisonville are reporting that there were no fatal wrecks in the Post 2 district over the July 4th 3-day holiday weekend. Police are reporting tonight that a missing Marshall County teen has been located. Kentucky State Police Post 1 in Mayfield was notified today by the Paducah City Police Department that they had found 18-year-old Chelsea Norrid, who was reported missing on June 30th. Police reported Friday that on Wednesday, Norrid had a bus ticket bound for her parents' home in Missouri, but had not been seen since. According to state police, no foul play was involved. Jackson Purchase Medical Center in Mayfield has a new chief executive officer. A 24-year veteran of the healthcare industry, Fred Pelly, comes to JPMC from Wellmont Health System, where he served as president of both Hawkins County Memorial Hospital and Hancock County Hospital in East Tennessee. During his 9-year tenure with Wellmont, he was credited with successfully recruiting numerous physicians, developing a hospitalist program, and driving dozens of performance improvement efforts, resulting in significant improvements in quality measures and employee and physician satisfaction levels. Prior to this, Pelley served as Chief Operating Officer of HCA Palmyra Medical Center in Albany, Georgia, Vice President of the Medical Center in Bowling Green, and Chief Operating Officer at Regional Medical Center in Madisonville and Southeast Alabama Medical Center in Dothan, Alabama. Pelley will take over as CEO on July 11th. A local circuit and family court judge has been honored by the Kentucky Bar Association. Christian County Circuit Court Judge Jason Fleming was named Outstanding Young Lawyer and was presented the award by Supreme Court Justice Bill Cunningham. Fleming formerly served as an assistant county attorney until he was elected to the circuit bench in November 2006. He also served as a private practice attorney for the Christian County Juvenile Drug Court. The Kentucky Association of School Administrators recognized a Christian County Career and Technical Center staff member for her hard work. Officials say Rosie McReynolds was presented the Fred Factor Award because she exemplified extraordinary traits within her profession. McReynolds has worked for CTC for nearly 11 years and says she was honored that someone would give her the award. She also served as the 2010-11 Staff Person of the Year for Christian County Public Schools. Meanwhile, 8 Christian County students will be heading to the University of Kentucky to compete in the statewide 4-H competition. The following students will be going to UK on July 9th. Lexi Oates of Holiday Elementary, Riley Fort of Millbrook, Logan Pulley and Taylor New Oglesby of Christian County Middle School, Anna Haley of Christian County High School, Tamara Robinson of MLK Elementary, Michaela Edwards of Hopkinsville Middle School, and Brooklyn Abbott of Christian County Middle School. Officials say the competition teaches youth good speech, how to write, effective delivery techniques, and opportunities to practice in front of others. In order to qualify to compete at the state level, each student successfully competed against students from 7 counties in the Pinnacle region in a 4-H public speaking contest held recently in Elkton. Well, in just 2 days, a 3rd pharmacy has been robbed in Clarksville. According to Clarksville Police spokesman Jim Knoll, the suspect walked into Walgreens on Wilma Rudolph Boulevard on Monday and talked on the telephone in front of the pharmacy counter for several minutes, then asked the pharmacist about several types of medications and finally asked about OxyContin. When the pharmacist told the man they carried OxyContin, the man told her it was a robbery, pulled up his shirt and pulled out a handgun from his waist area. The pharmacist gave him 2 containers of OxyContin, and the robber placed the gun back in his waist area and fled the store. Police believe the same man was involved in 2 other pharmacy robberies that occurred on July 3rd at Walgreens on Fort Campbell Boulevard and at Kmart on Wilma Rudolph Boulevard, where the robber demanded and took Xanax, hydrocodone, and methadone. The male is described as a white male, about 5'6" to 5'7" tall, slender build, mid-20s to early 30s, wearing sunglasses, a backward ball cap, and has a tattoo on the back of his neck, which kind of looks like a blue-black triangle. Anyone with information is asked to call the Clarksville Police Tips Line at 931-645-8477. A jury today returned a not guilty verdict against Casey Anthony in the murder of her 2-year-old daughter, Kaylee. After 7 weeks of testimony, the jury failed to convict her of either first-degree murder or manslaughter. However, the jury did find Casey Anthony guilty of 4 counts of providing false information to law enforcement. After the verdict was read, Casey Anthony sobbed and finally broke into a broad smile and hugged her defense team. According to reports, her parents, Cindy and George Anthony, left the courtroom after the verdict was read without speaking to their daughter. Over the last 7 weeks, prosecutors presented their case that Casey had killed her 2-year-old daughter by smothering her on June 16, 2008, before dumping Kaylee's body in a wooded area near the family's home. The defense had argued that Kaylee, who loved to swim, had died in an accidental drowning. Casey Anthony will be sentenced on the guilty counts Thursday morning. U.S. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell today sent a letter to Attorney General Eric Holder asking him to reconsider his decision to hold civilian trials for 2 foreign fighters in a Bowling Green courtroom rather than as foreign enemy combatants in the American prison in Guantanamo Bay, Cuba. In the letter, McConnell said the decision to treat Wad Ramadan Awan and Mohanad Sharif Hamadi as civilian criminal defendants and try them in federal court in Bowling Green was ill-advised and increased the risk of compromising classified information and the eventual release of these combatants. The 2 men were arrested last month in Bowling Green and charged with attacking our troops overseas with IEDs and with trying to send weapons and money to al-Qaeda operatives in Iraq, their home country. Well, we have several road closures or lane restrictions to tell you about. Motorists traveling on Interstate 24 will need to use extra caution traveling in Livingston and Marshall counties due to milling and paving work. Transportation Cabinet spokesman Keith Todd says a contractor will restrict both eastbound and westbound traffic to one lane from exit 27 in Marshall County to exit 31 in Livingston County. Initially, all traffic will be moved to the left-hand passing lane to allow milling work on the driving lane that began earlier today, with paving to follow, weather permitting. Jim Smith Contracting of Grand Rivers is the prime contractor on this highway improvement project. Todd says work should be completed in about a month if the weather cooperates. Meanwhile, daytime road closures on Kentucky 281 Island Ford Road in Hopkins County will continue this week. The daytime closures tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday are to allow drainage work, according to Transportation Cabinet spokesman Keith Todd. The daytime closures on Island Ford Road will run from the intersection of Kentucky 2338 Carroll Gentry Road to the intersection with Kentucky 862 Charles Lennon Road from 7 a.m. to about 3:30 each afternoon. Motorists who regularly travel this section of Kentucky 281 should make advanced alternate travel plans. And in Christian County, a contractor plans to start concrete repair work along US 41 Pembroke Road tomorrow. The concrete repair project will run along Pembroke Road from the end of asphalt pavement near the Gant Street intersection southward to near the Bill Bryan Boulevard, including at the Breathitt Pennyroyal Parkway interchange and the US 68 Hopkinsville bypass Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. intersection. WL Harper Incorporated is the prime contractor on this $509,000 highway improvement project. The project is expected to be completed by August 31st.